mic's on.
Well. There's a little bit of a pause there because apparently I can't fucking read anymore. And we're live here on Love Beer Radio. What's going on, guys? I'm Matt from Massive Beers. Joe from NEP Beer Reviews. What's going on, dude? Can you hear me, Joe?
I did you switch to me trying to say something? Because you on my end it went all kinds of crazy. So
yeah, no, I was totally just hold on 1 second. How's that sound? Better?
Yeah, it was just skipping around and freezing on me.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it was my shit, probably. I don't know. Is it the camera or is it just the audio?
The camera looks like it's a little bit behind the audio.
Okay, well, we'll have to deal with that. But anyway, what's going on, dude?
Not too much. In the ever fun, I had something for this and I lost it. Still on the job hunt. I actually have I have a lot of stuff going on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to meet the guy from Benny Brewing. I played the beer blogger card, and I'm gonna try to see the brewery and actually meet that guy on Monday.
So not like a
not formal interview type thing, because they're still in construction of the new place. I just want to come down and see what's going on, and meet him.
Okay. Nice. Where are they at construction wise with that?
I'm not sure. He just said I emailed him the other day. I'm like, hey, just want to see what's going on with the application that I sent you a while back. And he's like, thanks for keeping in touch. But construction's been a little slower than I thought it was going to be. And it's like I'll get back to you when we're closer to opening.
Okay, yeah, because I remember when I was looking for a new job, I applied there just for whatever, and I got this pretty much the same response about them. We'll get back to you closer to opening, and I think I sent my application in November. You know what I mean, or even earlier than that. So
anywhere. Yeah.
So
I sent mine out in January. So then Monday afternoon, hopefully, I'm gonna have a phone interview with Shawnee Brewing.
That should be interesting. Have you ever been to the brewery?
I have not been to the brewery.
It is I don't know what the word I'm looking for is here. They're very lucky. Let's put it that way. Yeah, the brewery, it's weird, man. The brewery is very tiny, and they house their sours right next to their fucking regular beers, and they brew everything in the same area. It's yeah. The one guy said, I was like, when I went there and I talked to him, I was like, are you guys just crossing your fingers when you brew or whatever? He's like, well, it is what it is. But he said, what did the guy who showed me around said, I guess they opened it was at Shawnee, the actual Shawnee, the resort or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And the place they took over, I guess, was I don't know if it was part of the Delaware River Water Project or whatever, but they have some industrial water company thing inside their house to where they can literally steam clean the whole brewery every time they're done. They own their water. They own their water. They don't pay for water. They provide water to other people. So they own all their water, so they could do all kinds of crazy shit as far as evaporation, basically killing bacteria with like ridiculous hot fucking water from like whatever. That's what he told me. Whether it's true or not, who the fuck knows? But I've heard of some of their stuff getting affected. It's not super prevalent, but whatever. But that would be cool.
Yeah.
That's close enough to where, I mean, would that be a move for you, or would you stay at home for a while on that one? Because it's right on the cusp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
an hour on the nose.
Yeah, it's not like a terrible drive, so I'd probably commute for a little bit. But then on Tuesday morning, I have another interview at Mad Fox in Virginia.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
What is it again? It skipped out. As Mad Fox.
Mad Fox.
Okay. Have you ever had anything from them, or?
I think I have. I honestly don't remember. I might hit Sabs over the weekend and try a bunch of their stuff.
Do they have stuff from them there?
Probably. If there's anywhere around here that would, I'd say it's them.
Well, that's true. What else?
Last weekend bottled 3 beers.
What'd you bottle?
So I bottled 2 Hefeweizens and a sour. So now instead of fermenters everywhere, I have beer everywhere now. But I think it'll be a neat homebrew review if you want to do it, because the Hefeweizen is same malt, same yeast, different hop in each one.
Okay.
It's single hopped, one batch with Opal, and the other batch with a German hop called Merker.
Merker.
Yeah.
Is it a newer varietal hop, or is it old school?
I don't know. It might be a newer varietal, because it's pretty high alpha acid. I've never used it before. I've never even really heard of it before. But I've been going to Plaza Beverage in Pittston for homebrew supplies now. And,
how are they for homebrew? They do a pretty good job of it, right?
Yeah, they do. A ton of malt, ton of hops, but like a bunch of hops. I wouldn't say a ton of them. I'd say Beer Solutions might have a little bit more than they do. But it, like, just regular equipment wise, I would probably still go to Beer Solutions. But if I just need something real quick, it's close enough that I could just run over to Plaza Beverage.
And the cut of the malt, like everything about it, the milling of the malt, like the fucking quality of everything's pretty good.
I mill my own malt, so I can't speak to that.
Okay. I remember we talked about this once, that you were didn't you buy malt at one point, but then you just like, fuck this, you're like, you can't get it the way you want it all the time or something like that. Did we have that conversation, or is that somebody else?
It might have been somebody else, because very early on I bought a mill for myself.
Okay.
So like I've been running off the same mill for maybe, I don't know, pretty much since I started doing all grain beers.
Nice. So interviews. What else?
I had a failed attempt at waxing.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Remember those wax beads that I was talking about and really talking up last week?
Yeah,
they sucked. They fucking sucked.
That's fantastic, dude.
Horrible. It is fantastic.
That bad?
It just, I don't know if I just didn't have the heat right or what was going on, but it just felt like the wax wasn't melting right. And that's weird to think about, but it was like clumping together. And at one point I would put the bottles in and it wasn't staying on. It was like already peeling off as I took the bottles out.
Oh, that sucks balls.
Yeah, so I just threw it all away, and I have 8 waxed bottles instead of like an entire thing next to me of bottles.
I'm telling you, dude, man. Like, look at fucking Ryan's little tutorial thing he did.
Honestly, I'm thinking of that now. I'm thinking of the glue sticks and crayons.
Because I mean, I don't know if he's just playing nice for the camera, and actually I don't think he is, because he says he lacks a couple bottles, and then he's like, these are the ones that came out best, and the other ones are a little bit funky. Do you know what I mean? But I think he shows them all. I mean, it comes out very nice. So
Yeah. I'll have to give it a try the next time that I'm going to actually wax a bottle. I don't know also if it had anything to do with the fact that I had those beads sitting around for quite some time. Like the first time that I used them with the red wax, I got them in and then used them, I want to say within a week of them coming to my house. These guys have been sitting around for probably a good year. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, and it just like wasn't as good as it was when it was fresh, like super fresh wax. I don't know. It's weird to think like now, like saying that I feel weird because it's like that's not really something that you would think about of like wanting freshness.
Yeah. You take it for granted. You're like, that's fucking whatever,
Yeah, it's like it's fucking wax, and now I'm like, maybe I should have used it really quickly.
I don't think that's the case. I just think,
yeah,
I think you're trying to overthink the room here. Like glue sticks and crayons sounds like, I'll get a big beer with syrup and grassing clippings. You know what I mean? You're like, that's what you hear when you're like glue and crayons and glue sticks.
I'm waxing bottles today.
Yeah.
Like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That all you got?
I think so. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna pull. I have some beers in the freezer. Give me 1 second. I don't want them to explode on me.
Fine. I listen to your interesting stories.
I know,
you don't have to listen to mine. Let's see what's new.
I can still hear you.
Whatever. Anyway, let's see. I'm going on a little road trip tomorrow, so I'm probably going to try to hit up some breweries, or at least one brewery, I think, because I'm going to go to. For those that live in northeastern Pennsylvania, or not even for those that live in the eastern part of Pennsylvania, there is a glorious, glorious place down in Quakertown called Q Mart. If you've never been there, you don't know what the fuck it is. It is basically an indoor kind of flea / farmer's market / general market, but it's gigantic. It's like 2 football fields long, and it's bonkers crazy inside with awesome food. You can buy dinosaur bones, vinyl records, and a bed all in the same place. It's fucking fantastic. And it's so ghetto in a beautiful way. So I'm going to go there. Funk Brewing is very close to there. So I'm thinking I'm going to stop there tomorrow. But last night I did a little brewery run. I don't go to a ton of breweries just because I don't have time, especially with my new job. But my new what I'm doing now work-wise, I usually work, about 8:45 to about 5:30 every day. And then I leave that job and I go to my old job and work there for about an hour or so just because I love it, like it. And it works out perfect for me because what I do is I have to post. It actually takes a little bit of time to post my shit. I have to post every day for like videos and all that bullshit. And I go to my old job for give or take about an hour. So I do it all by kind of walk-in. Like there's no appointments. Just tell people I'll be here for this hour to an hour and a half. If they come, I'll work. If not, I won't work. So I go there and I use that time to like post all my shit. If people show up, then I'm busy. I make some money and I post my shit when I get home. Or if I go there and I'm not doing anything, that's when I'm like going through all my correspondence and fucking posting shit. So usually I do that and then I go home and I leave for work about 8 in the morning and I usually get home around 8 at night. So usually it's like a 12-hour day, give or take. But yesterday I didn't have to go to my second job. And I hate to say second job because it's not even a job. My first job even isn't a job. I love it. My second job I've done for 18 years and it's not a job. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, but I didn't have to go there, and I was getting out and on time at 5 instead of like 5:30, 6 o'clock at my new job. And my buddy George is like, hey, I want to go to Rushing Duck. Rushing Duck is a brewery up in Chester, New York, which is very close to Port Jervis. It's basically if you take 84 from Albany down into PA or from Scranton up into New York, it's right when you cross the border into New York. And he's like, I just want to run up there. They're doing a can release of 2 of their beers. I was like, fuck it. He's like, you want to go? I was like, fuck yeah, I'll go, man. I haven't gone in a while. And it's such a great fucking run. Like, anybody that lives close to that area, I'm telling you right now, what you need to do is you need to go in your little Jippus or your phone Jippus and type in fucking Chester, New York or Warwick, New York, and circle that area because there's an awesome brewery. Like I said, Russian Duck, they make really good beers. I went there and I had a flight of their beers. I had 2 IPAs, 3 IPAs, a pale ale, and a imperial stout. All of them are really fucking good. And you go to the brewery, and the brewery is fucking cool, decently priced, very small, but make really good beer. And about 20 minutes away, there's a town called Warwick, New York. And in that town is 2 amazing bottle shops. I'm talking amazing, amazing bottle shops. Like, when I went to this bottle shop, like, I had to restrain myself. Like, I just started working at a really good job, so I have surplus of income, but I still had to be like, pump the brakes, dude. You need to fucking just not buy like $500 in beer right now. And like, we're talking like everything you can possibly, like anything. Like I could have got crazy Canadian stuff. I got this Duda CL beer I never heard of. I got fucking, they had 3 different old stock variants. They had the brandy barrel aged variant. They had a wheat barrel variant. Then they had a rye barrel variant. You know what I mean? Like, they had fucking a bunch of crazy Demolin shit. They had just crazy beer all over the place. And then the other place down there is Ghettoer, but just as nice, and their prices are awesome. Whatever. So 2 awesome bottle shops, reasonably priced. And then there's a place, and I like to plug it because the dude's fucking awesome. There's a restaurant right there. And this is all within 20 minutes of like the brewery. It takes you 20 minutes to get to Warwick, New York. Not even 15. So you go to the brewery, you go to Warwick from the brewery, and it takes you 15 minutes. And then the 2 bottle shops in this bar are about a minute walk away from each other. That's how close all these things are. So you go to the 2 awesome bottle shops, and then you go to this fucking place called Eddie's Roadhouse. And the food is fucking crazy. And the draft list is even crazier. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and their drafts are reasonable, $6 to $8 a glass of beer. And the last 3 or 4 times I've been there, last time I was there, I had double Citra from Hill Farmstead, another half beer, and then some crazy Alaskan barley wine. I went last night. I had a Logson fucking sour beer. I had Maine lunch, and I had some kind of called Sipper, some IPA, and then I had some weird fucking Saison, dry hop Saison from called Lost Nation Brewing. Like, it was just crazy. It's like a bar that you're sitting at. The owner's fucking bonkers cool dude, sitting there drinking with you and just having a good time. And it's such a good trip. So anyway, those of you out there, if you're close to there, you need to go. Me and Joe are going to go one of these days. We'll take a day trip. We'll leave early on a Saturday. We have to do it soon before you get a fucking job so we can actually go. Yeah. And go up there and just enjoy the day. Like, leave early on a Saturday, go up there and just lounge out and shit like that. So that was my yesterday. Hopefully doing some fun shit tomorrow. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Let's see. My buddy Harry, he's into beer. He's getting, I don't want to say he's just getting into beer, but he's just getting into beer. And we text back and forth about beer a lot now. And he was like, he was in Virginia. His job takes him to Virginia. And I guess he got really drunk. He ended up going to this bar and then hanging out all night with the St. Bernardus rep from like for the eastern part of the country or something, or Florida, or I don't know. And he's like, the dude wants to send you a bunch of St. Bernardus beer or something. I was like, I don't know. So I started texting and I was like, the dude grabbed his phone drunk and it's like, my name's Jesse. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, whatever. I was like, send me whatever. But this morning in his sober haze, he was like, I thought you lived in Florida. I was like, no. I'm like, I live in Pennsylvania. I don't know how that happened. He's like, I can't send you beer because I live in Florida and I'll get in trouble. He's like, I'm like, okay. He's like, but I'm going to contact fucking Shanky's. I'm going to tell him to send you a bunch of stuff. But he's apparently going to send me a bunch of swag, he said. He's like, I'll just send you a bunch of non-beer stuff. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. And it's pretty much it for me for the week as far as beer news goes. I'm trying to think of the radio show I do. We've been off for 2 weeks. We do the show this Sunday, so a day and a half from now. Another brewery I never had before. Let's see. The brewery we're having on, I've never heard of it. Another Oregon brewery. Have you ever heard of Breakside?
No.
Yeah, Breakside Brewing. Never heard of them. They look like they have good beers. They're all bombers. I don't know. These are the beers that they're putting on the show. The camera will not focus. There you go. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think I saw the picture of that on Instagram.
So we'll see what happens with that. That'll be a fun thing. It's weird not doing a radio. It was weird not doing a radio show, and then now it's weird that I have to go back and do the radio show. So can't win for losing. And what are you drinking? I never seen that before. What the fuck's that?
This is the Pony from Half Acre.
Another Sabs pickup, I assume.
Yes, I got 2 Sabs pickups, the Draai Laag and this one. I wanted something to just drink. So.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was doing tonight. We were supposed to go on at 5, or not at 5, 8 o'clock, and I got home. The reason why I come on late, we didn't get on until about 8:30. The reason why that doesn't happen is not because I'm running late, is because I have to do beer reviews. Not because I feel like I'm home, I need to do beer reviews, but I want to drink beer, and the only beer I have in my house is single one-off beers that I have set for a review. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, let me do 3 reviews real quick so I have beers to drink during the fucking show. That's the only reason why I was on at 8:30, not 8 o'clock. I was like, okay.
That worked out perfectly because around 7:45, I was on my way back from picking up pizza, and I'm like, I'm gonna get in the house. I'm gonna have 5 minutes, and then have to do the show. I'm like, it's gotta be. I'm like, I'll be on in a couple minutes. I'm setting up now. I'm in reality, I'm just sitting on the
couch. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, let's get into it. What are we talking about today? This is I think this is one of the rare occasions where I actually thought of the subject. It's not a great subject, but it's a subject nonetheless.
It's actually a really good subject because I could start it out with a little story that I read off of Instagram. Or not Instagram, Twitter. But we're going to be talking about when does beer become not beer? So at first, highly adjunct beers to high ABV barrel-aged beers, ciders, meads, braggots, that whole thing. When does it become something? When does it not become beer? Then we're going to be reviewing Draai Laag's Aureus. Is this the one that you got? Because
I threw a Z in there just to fuck you up.
Good, because it worked.
Yeah, no, that's the one I have. I have the same one here. We're going to be doing the Aureus, which is it's just a Belgian strong ale, I guess is how it's classified. I don't know.
It says, triple fermented ale. Never mind. Ale brewed with orange peel and vanilla bean. Yeah,
so we'll see. These are old too, because I didn't know. If you actually look at this label here, you have 8% Aureus, wild fermented. All of Draai Laag's beers are wild fermented. I don't know if there's actually a date on these at all. Did you look at all?
I don't think so.
But I know Lindo was holding on to these for a while, because here's actually, I didn't know which one you were picking up because I have both. You can see the new label versus the old labels, so you can see how nicer. I like the old one better. I mean, just as nice, but you can see it's a total label redesign. So I'm guessing the one we're gonna review is at least a couple years old. A year to 2 years old. Let's put it that way. at least.
Cool. So we got that, and then our second one. I'm assuming this is favorites. Our favorite line between what is normally considered beer. Because I have what are some of out for its beers, which is just a.
You know what it meant, motherfucker. Don't act
Yeah,
like
I know
you
exactly
didn't.
what you meant. I'm just being a dick. But I'm gonna start out with a story that I saw on Twitter, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up again just to get the location. I'm pretty sure it was in Denver, but I want to be sure. So let me. While I'm looking for it, I could be talking about it as well. Apparently, an Applebee's in Denver accidentally served Not Your Father's root beer to 3 children.
Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. That's the only good positive story I've ever heard. They went in there with their parents. Go ahead.
They went in. So apparently, like they went in to the Applebee's with their parents, and they wanted root beer. So they ordered root beer, and the kids were like 8, 9, and 10, or like 8, 9, and 11. So they're all really similar in age, and they asked the server for root beer, and she says no problem. Comes back with 3 bottles. I'm just saying she. I shouldn't be saying the server with 3 of Not Your Father's root beer, not realizing exactly what it was. I can't find it. I'm pretty sure it's Denver though. So puts the bottles of Not Your Father's root beer in front of the children, and then the father notices that it says 5.9% ABV on it, and like then goes into like fucking drama queen mode, and like the police are called, and like the corporate office of Applebee's is called, and like the 9-year-old stomach was hurting, so they took her. I think it was a he. They took him to the hospital, like just going right off the fucking deep end. And I thought it was like it's a mistake, Nothing really bad happened.
Well,
it's bad that it happened. It's
listen.
terrible that it happened.
There's 2 bad things that happen in this story.
Two bad things.
Two bad things that happen in this story so far. One, people are eating at Applebee's. That's the first really bad thing that fucking happened in this story. And 2, people are drinking Not Your Father's root beer. So there's 2 very big things happening in this story. You know what I mean? So don't act like there's not tragedy in this fucking comedy. Anyway, go ahead.
They just. I think with the whole story, and this goes really well into what we're talking about. When does beer become not beer? Because it is actually billed. Not Your Father's root beer is actually billed on their label. I have a label. I have a bottle of it right here. Hold on. I'm pretty sure they call it an ale on their.
Yeah, but it's not brewed like beer, though. It's not beer.
No. So it is. I can definitely see why someone would be confused, especially into now with breweries that actually do their own root beer. Yeah,
there. I mean, there is, but
it doesn't. It won't. It absolutely will not negatively affect that. Because spoiler alert, there is trace amounts of alcohol in soda. Like there's a minuscule amount.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the brewing process behind Not Your Father's Root Beer. But I'm pretty sure it's not brewed in the beer traditional sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it says beer with natural vanilla extract and other natural and artificial flavors and caramel color.
But that's, I mean, when I brought up the subject about like what is beer and like what is beer and then what is not beer, and that's the cusp of the conversation. It wasn't so much nitpicking. To me, like there's beer,
No,
like
I'm
to me,
not nitpicking over it. I think it's actually really interesting.
To me,
Like,
Sammy Claus isn't beer. To me, fucking Dogfish Head 120 isn't, and fucking Higher Math isn't beer. Utopias isn't beer. You know what I mean? Like almost like you would go even like Black Tuesday isn't beer. You know what I mean? Like to me, is the process of beer still there? Sure, but is it beer in a traditional sense? No. Is it make it bad? No, because I love those fucking beers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's a weird line because let me start this off or interject with this. When the 13% mark for years, when I got into beer up until like the fucking 2000s, the mid 2000s, like anything over 13% was considered like we said, oh, anything over 13% isn't technically beer, it's more wine. Like it's a barley wine or a wheat wine. And we said that in a traditional sense, not like, oh, I like barley wines. We're like, no, it's a barley wine. Like there's a comma or a space involved. You know what I mean? It's a wine made of barley or it's a wine made of wheat. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a name. It wasn't a catch-all phrase for a style of beer. It was like, oh yeah, anything over 13%. And it wasn't, obviously that's not the case, but the general rule of thumb was anything over 13% isn't technically beer anymore. You're more talking a wine made of barley. So even at that point, you're talking about that's just not beer. I mean, Santa Claus at 13% or whatever it was, 13, 14, I don't know why I forget the ABV, or maybe I do because it's fucking high ABV, it was like, that was the world's strongest beer for a very long time. You know what I mean? Now it's a session beer at this point, you know what I mean, as far as shit goes. But yeah, there's this weird, like even the beers I have in front of me, like the Draai, I would obviously consider beer because it's almost like Draai is becoming cool because it's going uber traditional. You know what I mean? Like the Lagunitas 10%. This is still beer, but like I think gosh darn it, I just have all beer around me right now. But what?
Well, I got this guy here. I have the cane.
See, I would consider that beer though, because I think that's 9.5%. Am I right?
12.
Even there. That's a Belgian dark though. That beer, if minus the barrel. Okay.
Yeah.
And a barrel is another level of difference. That beer is just a Belgian strong dark, is what it is. You know what I mean? That's been around for many years. It's just there's Solera method barreling going on. That is part of what we're talking about, obviously. But yeah, like beers just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think I went immediately into the heavier adjunct. And I'm not sure the process behind Not Your Father's Root Beer, but on the label it still calls itself beer. So but in my review I said it wasn't beer. You know, there's not beer.
Yeah, so, and that's I guess that's the soul of the point of what I'm trying to get to. Like to me, I'm trying to think of when a cutoff is when beer starts to get a little bit different. It's a different conversation than Heinz Gebot. I'm not trying to say,
Yeah, no, this isn't a
purity law thing. Yeah, yeah, it's not that because I'm down with other shit outside of that. It's not saying okay, we're just talking about German run Heinz Gebot and that's it. But I mean, there's beers that are definitely or alcoholic beverages outside of beer. There's meads and gruits and fucking shit like that. Obviously, you know what I mean. Technically,
well, gruit is just unhopped or very low hopping.
yeah, it's you're getting your bitterness, your traditional bitterness from fucking something other than hops. You know what I mean? But there's, I don't know how to class. See, I should have put more research into this before I fucking spouted out a subject fucking last minute about 4 hours ago. But it's how do I put it? I've said this in my reviews before. I've probably said it on La Beer Radio before. There's an old back in I think it was the 70s. There's a Supreme Court justice when he was talking about pornography. He said, "I can't tell you what pornography is, but I know what it is when I see it." And it's kind of the same moniker with beer. I know what beer is, but sometimes it's a little hard to find the lines where it begins or ends.
I can see that.
But I know what it is when I drink it. You know what I mean? And like there's a lot of beers that are just like skirt that edge. You know, a lot of wacky stuff that Dogfish had, sure. That's obviously the weird shit that they do with their beers. That's their MO. Fine. You know what I mean? At the opposite end of the spectrum, there's some breweries that just that's all they make is just beer flavored beer, like actual beer, like legit beers. But then there's those ones that kind of just there's people that just always want to push the fucking envelope, like Funky Buddha out of Florida. They have a core line of beers, but they're bigger beers, the ones they're more the ones they are. This is where we're getting the more adjuncty shit like you were talking about. The more beers that they're into are like, you know, bacon and coconut and chocolate and coffee, to where like it's almost like the beer's delivery system for that. It's like you don't get much beer out of it. You just get cool fucking flavors. You know what I mean? And sometimes the beer is hidden. And that's kind of like when I review stuff, sometimes I'm like, this tastes delicious, but there's not much beer there. Like the beer's kind of hidden. There's really no beer to be spoken of inside this beer. It's just fun flavors, not actual beer. Because you have to say beer 3 times like Beetlejuice.
Beer.
Yeah, you have to say it 3 times like Beetlejuice, otherwise it doesn't actually fucking work.
It doesn't exist really.
Yeah.
If you don't.
So yeah, I mean that's my point about like the whole like is it beer, isn't beer? Like it's such a weird line because it's subjective like regular beers. I don't know.
Well, then what? Like there is there like a regular definition? What's your idea of what something that is outed?
Well, I'm not sure what you're saying. The first thing that I don't like about the first thing I would say about beer is if you're going to talk about it, you should have a good internet connection.
That always works. Yeah, you were kind of going out on me a little while ago.
It's still you, dude. It's not me. My internet's solid.
I know it's me.
Yeah. So anyway, how about you start that little thing over, and we'll see if it takes this time. Because I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh, try. What is in your definition? What is like? What in your definition versus feel like there's not a lot of. Or did I freeze?
Yeah, let's try for a third. Let's try for a third time.
Sweet. Good.
What?
Motherfucker. I hate this. I really do.
Anyway, I think what Joe's trying to get across, he's either asking me the question what I think is beer or what I don't think is beer. That's the question I think he's trying to ask me, which
yes, it is
10 pieces of, which you could have said just those words. I would have heard you. Everything you tried to tell me, I heard the first like 30 seconds of, but you didn't actually ask the question until like 40 seconds, and I just dropped out by then. But
yeah,
like I don't know, man. It's a super tough question to answer. Like I fuck. I don't know.
Am I back and properly there now?
Because there's beers. There's like, let's put it this way: if I were to classify beer, if I were to like draw like a diagram, and I were to draw a diagram in the way I would draw like the universe, and I would be like, okay, here's the center of the universe, and let's go outward throughout that universe. There would be a couple beers in the center of the universe. There would be like the core beers that I think are the spawn point, the primordial ooze connecting on Earth when Earth was forming, that created fucking amino acids that created fucking life. That kind of stuff. It would be Pilsner. It would be Belgian table beer. That would probably be the catalyst for almost everything. It would be like those, maybe, I'm trying to think if there's another one I'm thinking of. Like, to me, it's like the Pilsner and the Belgian table beer is, to me, like the beginning of beer in its most simplest form. So if I were to be like, okay, what's the fucking, if there was a fucking Hitler of beer, and if you wanted to kill all of the beers and just have, this is a great discussion, and just wanted to kill all other beers and just have a master race of 2 beers.
It's always great when
that's
brought up.
When you bring up Hitler and a fucking, I don't mind. I don't give a fuck. You know,
yeah,
married to an Asian woman and fucking, I don't care. Anyway, it would be Pilsner. It would be Belgian table beer. To me, I don't know which came first. To me, it's chicken or the egg. There's history of that. People know. I don't care. I don't care to fucking look it up.
Table beer.
You know what I mean?
First, I'd say.
You would think. Actually, whatever the fuck Macedonian people were brewing in Africa, when they actually, that was the first kind of beer. Who the fuck knows what that was? But whatever. But it is what it is. So that's like the core center of fucking beer for me. And then it kind of goes outward from there. Where does the edges get blurry for me? Let me think. I'm cool. I'm cool with pale ales. I'm cool with IPAs. We're talking strict definition here. There's people like, I made a chocolate IPA with habaneros. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that beer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, IPAs. I'm talking about, ESBs. I'm talking about I'm talking about wheats. I'm talking about box. I'm cool with double box. I'm cool with, singles, doubles, triples, and quads. I'm cool with darks. I'm kind of rotating around the fucking country, if I can think about it, or the earth. I'm cool with stouts and porters in their traditional sense. And I think I've made the loop. I think that's kind of the traditional sense. Once you get outside that loop, then you start getting into barley wines, old ales. I'm cool with old ales, obviously. I'm cool with old ales. Yeah. And that's kind of where shit starts to get a little blurry for me. You start to get like, it's an ABV thing. I don't know. For me, barley wines start to get a little bit wonky as far as fucking, is it beer? Yeah. And that's kind of where it starts to have, and that's when you start to get in your imperial stout range. That's when you start to get in your fucking, barley wines, your old ales, your wheat wines, your fucking generic. I don't know. They just make up names for beers now, stylized. They'll be like, oh, this is a fruit vegetable beer. It's fucking 18%. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. The only beers, you know what? And this is the weird thing about it. I don't know if it's just because of lack of exposure, because I'm not a big sour guy. I have no problems with sours doing whatever the fuck they want. I don't know if sour is actually beer, though, because I think it might just be out. I think it might be actually, you know what? I think I don't have a problem with sours doing whatever I want because I don't consider it beer. I think I consider it its own thing. Even though it is beer, and don't attack me, sour fucking addicts. I don't know. What about you? What do you consider, like, where's your idea of beer?
Yeah, I got none of that. That was all jumbly and chopped up.
Okay.
Probably one of the worst episodes that I've.
Well, how about you talk? Let's do this. You
time.
talk right now,
connection-wise.
and I will figure out what's wrong right now. Right now, I'm going to tell you if it's me or you. So you talk and just do your.
Okay, so that was, I'm assuming, not really knowing where sours fall on the table, but probably not really putting it into beer. I would kind of go. I would say the same thing. It's a weird spot. It's a. I don't know. It's just. It's such an odd. It's an odd place. You know, someone who thinks that beer is. Granted, this is way hazier for a Pilsner than what some people would think. So this is beer, and then anything that's sour is weird. And there's even people that are in the beer, in the craft beer. I don't know. It sounds douchey as all fuck, but craft beer scene that still kind of look at sours in an odd light. So I could definitely see those kind of being outside the realms of beer. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting now that we're going to be at some point reviewing this wild fermented beer. But, all of that, was that like going through properly?
The what?
Did all of that go through properly?
Oh yeah, so far. Keep talking. Say stuff.
Okay, cool. All right, stuff. Real quick, I'll talk about this this half-acre beer that I'm drinking. To be honest, a Pilsner is the kind of almost the last thing that I would expect to come out of Chicago. But it's surprisingly good. I can't have. Is there no ABV on it? There is. This is a test. This is only a dump. Let's see, I would assume that this is only like 5% ABV. I just, like I said, I just wanted something. I just wanted something to drink during the show.
Okay, well, it's you, buddy. Your internet sucks. That's what I thought it was, but just to give you a heads up, your shit sucks.
Well,
your shit's all fucked up, and you're kind of retarded, and you know what I mean. Hey, world needs tards too. My sister's a tard. She does really well for herself. You know what movie that's from? No?
I think I do.
Idiocracy.
Yes.
It's like when he walks in the doctor's and he's like, "Oh man, your shit's all fucked up and you're kind of retarded."
Yeah, like with Justin Long as the doctor.
Yeah. So anyway, let's do a review. How's that sound?
That sounds.
See if we can get that in there. We're going to be doing Draai Brewing's out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is their Aureus. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah, Aureus, I would say. Aureus.
So let's see if this sucker focuses in on that. Aureus. This is a strong ale, 8%, brewed with orange peel and vanilla bean. And old schooler. This, like I said, is probably a couple years old. So vanilla and orange peel. I've done right. They're not two flavors that should drop off super fucking fast. I don't think they would. But holy fucking yeah, that's a wild beer. Watch when you open it, dude. It's gonna want to fucking take off on you.
Just it actually didn't take off as much as I think your bottle did.
Yeah.
If any of that went through.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you the first time, jackass. Anyway.
You never can be too sure with with me, you know?
Yeah, so the head itself is, it looks like it's super fucking explosive. It looks like a fucking, it looks, I don't want to get this maudit out of the way here. It looks Belgian. I mean, it's just explosive. It's vibrant. You can see the carbonation.
Maudit glass too?
Yeah, I am. Are you using the same fucking glass?
Same glass.
That's funny. You can see that carbonation is just really fucking vibrant. You know what I mean? Rolling up the edges. If I could actually show you inside, the actual carbonation is just popping off. It's like kind of this like exploding. It just looks really, really inviting. You know what I mean? Nose wise. Ooh, that's some tartness, tart sourness. I don't think it's going to be nearly as tart as I think it's going to be in the mouth, but you're getting like this really funky, super funk. This is George Clinton P. Funkadelic funk. This is funk. Funk and
really,
funk.
Like really funky, like orange cream soda or something.
See, you get all kinds of weird different shit to me. To me, this is hickory smoked apple skin.
Nah, I get the orange and the vanilla.
Yeah, to me, this is green apple skin, but it's been smoked with like hickory smoke. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah, but it smells. It doesn't smell acidic. It smells tart.
Yeah, it definitely has a.
But let's put it this way: brass tacks. You throw this under my nose, and I don't know what it is. I go, "That's Belgian." That's the words that run. First words out of my mouth. Well, that's a Belgian beer. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then we're gonna figure it out from here. So let's figure it out from here. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's so good, dude. It's not even fucking funny. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Not overly tart. Now that I've drank it, took a nice gulp, swallowed, now afterwards, I'm starting to get that vanilla. And I'm getting a little bit of orange peel from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, this is a fucking Draai Laag. You guys fucking suck. This is like how I like when I do beer reviews of spiced beers, like peppered beers. Well, the thing that turns me on, the things that gets my wiener fucking moving and stuff, is when you put a nice chili spice in a milk stout and do it right. And the reason why I like that is because I like it. I like those beers the same way I like humans, not me, because I'm not a big roller coaster guy. Same way humans like roller coasters, because it's scary as fuck. But there's also this kind of comfort that to know that you're not going to die. So you get this kind of like, I'm going to die. Okay, I know I'm not going to die. And that's what I get from chili beers is that I drink a chili beer and I get this heat that's going to fucking take off. But when you put them in like a milk stout, they can only reach a certain level and they fucking peak and plateau and then fall off because of the lactose. That's what I get a lot from Draai Laag beers is I get this kind of like tease of this sour that's going to go sideways. It just ripped the fuck out of my fucking teeth and stomach and enamel, but it just never gets there. You know what I mean? It shows me.
That's something that I really like about Draai Laag as well. It smells acidic. And then you taste it, and you're like, "Oh, this is actually really, really good, super drinkable, and like really, It's another weird phrase to think about, but very approachable."
Yeah, but the thing is, the smell isn't, and the taste isn't for the first like 3 milliseconds. Like you chase it, like here it comes, and then you're like, oh no, it's not coming. It's awesome.
Oh,
it's just drinks really easy.
False alarm.
Yeah, and that's cool. It's like fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like someone fucking. It's like playing a fucking slap. It's like playing fucking a slap game or something. It's playing some kind of fucking game with your brain. And that's the coolest part about the beer is that it just does that for you. It plays that game, and that game is really fucking fun. Yeah, that's fun. I think
Every sip, I think it's going to be so sour. And then the sourness stops before it even begins. Like,
yeah,
all
it's
right,
not.
cool,
It's not sour at all.
No.
You need to give one of these to your buddy Will. I'm curious to what he thinks.
I could go get them right now.
No, not right now. I'm just saying. I just for my own personal, because I don't know if this to him would be the beer he hates the most in life, because it teases him with what he wants and never gives it to him. Whereas for me, this is like what I don't want, but enough to where I think I'm going to get punished, but I never get punished. It's the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I could see that. It's the kind of wild beer that I really like. I like it to be on this build. I could see this. If this was lower in ABV and billed as a saison, I would love it. Like this would be to me the perfect like saison. You know.
Yeah, it's dangerous too because it doesn't drink like 8%. It drinks like 6, 5, 6. You know, it's delicious. Is what it is. But it's very Belgian. I mean, this is one of those beers where I could be like, oh man, this beer is so good, and you give it to somebody that's all about IPAs, and be like, what the fuck am I drinking right now? This tastes like runoff from a brewery. That's what they would think. Be like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. You know? Yeah, I'm jazzed about this because it's March and another pretty much a month from now, Draai Laag will be at Sabatini's for a tap takeover. Ooh, nice. Yeah. They'll be at Sabatini's for a tap takeover, and it's on like Conky Dong at that point.
Right, so I'm trying to get a hold of Amanda because she's upstairs. I was going to try to tell her to come downstairs and grab this little sample glass that I pulled, but she's not responding. So I will be right back because they got to try this beer.
Okay.
And I will.
So let's see. Joe's going to leave, so that means I got to talk for a bit because that's what happens when 2-man shows go down. I'm trying to think of anything new and exciting going on. Yeah, no, I'll spout poetic about Draai Laag, man. Like, this is by far, I came from, I got into beer through Belgian beers. That's the beers I like. Those are the beers I enjoy. I enjoy many other beers nowadays, but, your first love is your first love, And this is just for me, this is kind of like what the definition of beer is. I don't like sours, so it's odd enough to be this connected with wild yeast, but wild yeast and sours are two totally different things. To me, at least, they are. And it's just they know what the fuck they're doing. The flavors, and that's the thing. Like when I just talked with Joe, or just mentioned with Joe, and like people that are into IPAs are into. If you give them something like this, they might not know how to take it. You can derive so many flavors from things other than hops, and you actually get like hop level flavors from yeast. But to get these like yeast flavors, which for me tend to be drying in a different way than a hop. Like hops are like bittering dry. These are more like I don't know how to put it. Drying, like Belgian wild yeast are like like a good. If you've ever been out in an orchard and you've eaten like fresh fruit, or eaten berries off a vine, or if you've, you know what I mean, eaten or fruit that was naturally propagated, and you eat that, you get this kind of like tart dryness off of it that is inherent to natural fruit, and that's kind of like what you get a lot from like yeast from proper Belgian beers. And it's just a whole different ballgame, a whole different flavor profile, a whole different experience. And Draai Laag just fucking does it for me. So, anyway,
all their beers are like so good in that respect. Like I love it with yeast.
Like, and that's the thing with Draai Laag about like this is how I equate Draai Laag to in my own brain. I don't even tell this. I've never said this before to anybody in like beerdom or whatever the fuck it is, the beer world or whatever. I view Draai Laag, like I love them. I hope they exist for a very long time. I'm not sure if they will or will not, because you never know with a brewery. But to me, Draai Laag is like you ever see a comedian that's never popular, but he never goes away because he's a comedian's comedian? To me, Draai Laag's like a brewer's brewer. To me. Like that, maybe that's me just kind of fucking, you know what I mean? Just making it more my own like thing in my brain, and I'm kind of putting them on a subtle pedestal. But to me, like Draai Laag's more like, okay, there's brewers out there that make super popular beers that brewers are like, fuck that guy. That guy's a fucking dummy. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with beer. He just makes this one beer and whatever. I could never see a brewer being like, yeah, Draai Laag, they're a gimmick. Whatever. Those guys suck. They're a brewer's brewer to me. God damn, Joe. I'll fucking you if you dude, Joe, if you start a GoFundMe for your internet account, I will get you better internet. Like we should start like a fucking GoFundMe or a Kickstarter or something just to get you better internet.
I can see I can really see that.
So if you're tuning in right now, it's me and Megatron. Me and Megatron are trying to have a fucking podcast. You sound like fucking Megatron at this point. Anyway, go ahead.
You should just do them at your house.
Are they watching? Listen, before we go any further, are they watching like Netflix or anything? Is anybody using internet in your house?
I don't think so, actually. I don't think my mom's on her laptop. Actually, she might be on her laptop.
Because it sounds like it just sounds like somebody's, because this is the worst it's ever been.
It sounds like you cut off after that.
Exactly. That's what it sounds like.
Ooh. Perfect. This is connection-wise, this is one of the worst in a long time.
It's not this guy.
I know. No, it's all on my end. I know that.
All they ask is some preparation. No, actually, I don't ask anything. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyway, so yeah, great beer. Enjoy it. Love the brewery in general. I could drink the shit out of this. I think I have. I bought actually the Aureus. I bought the old one and the new one. Just do like a side-by-side review. So I'll have to either buy another one of these to do a side-by-side proper review, or I think I might drink the other one tonight just to see the difference. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna go inside me, whether it wants to or not. It's like reverse something. I was gonna make another joke that was horrible. Anyway.
Reverse stuff.
Yeah. Reverse Eeper. Anyway. Did you get that? You didn't get that. Anyway. Anyway. Let's kick off to the second part of this. By the way, we started off infinitely with infinitely more viewers than we've ever started off, and now we're down to like the least. Yeah, but since shit sucks tonight, we're down to like almost nobody now. Like we like kicked it off, and all of a sudden I was like, "Why the fuck are this many people watching right now? This is really bizarre." But our shit sucks.
How many people did we start out with?
I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to give out numbers to the general public, but it was a lot. It was a decent amount for us to start off with. But
anything over 2 is a decent amount of people.
Exactly, and it was definitely more than 2. It was at least more than double 2.
Ooh,
yeah. I mean, we're getting kind of. Listen, it more literally,
than 2, but less than everyone in the world.
I smell rich mahogany. That's all I know. Anyway, yeah, let's kick it in the second part of this and just talk about beers that we love that we think aren't really beer. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they're beer. They're made with, the process is beer process. Yeah. But beers that we would consider that we love, that we're just like, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, gun to the head, I would be like, yeah, this is something different. It needs to be a different classification other than beer. You want to go first or me? I don't.
You.
Okay, Utopias first. Utopias, you know what I mean? Like, that's like a beer processing, or Utopias and Triple Bock. I would put in that first out the chute. 2 beers I love. I'm just gonna go like this the whole time I'm talking, just so air quotes are involved. Constant air quotes. You know what I mean? Like, definite Utopias, even outside of Triple Bock. Utopias is not fucking beer; it's cognac, is what it is. It's a spirit. It's a brewed, distilled spirit in some form or fashion, some unique process that works. But it's classified as beer, and it shouldn't be, but I still love it. So Utopias takes the crown for me. Next level down would be a lot of the Dogfish Head stuff. I would consider 120. It's very blurry, man. 120 and Worldwide are very blurry. The Higher Math was not. That is not beer. That is some kind of weird liqueur. That is some kind of weird liqueur that I really enjoyed. But it was not beer.
You really enjoyed, and a lot of people hated it.
Yeah, well, it's equal parts, man. Equal parts hated it, equal parts enjoyed it. Whatever. I'm not here to wax or talk about whether it's good or not. I'm just saying I liked it, and I thought it was outside of the beer realm. Okay, like I said, 120 and Worldwide are infinitely closer to actual beer in as far as vibe when I drink it. Next level down, not next level down, but same level. When you start to get into the brewery barrel aged series, whether Black Tuesday, Chocolate Rain, and a whole kind of thing, that's where beer kind of gets the shark starts to jump the beer instead of jumping the shark. It's a great tasting beverage, I guess you would say, but there's not much beer to it. It's a lot of cool flavors, a lot of barrel, a lot of uniqueness to it. But at the same time, if you gave that to me and said this is some, mud kept port that was carbonated, I would be like, okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's all good. You know what I mean? The beerness of it still doesn't really ring throughout the beer.
Beer quality is very lacking.
Yeah. And just getting down the line, I could probably cap it off at Sammy Claus. Like, to me, Sammy Claus is that line. That's where the line is drawn between beer and not beer. If someone said, is Sammy Claus a beer? I would say sure. If someone said, is Sammy Claus not a beer? I would say sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, it's that line where it's like, it's beer.
Yes and no.
But at the same time, it's a cordial, but it's kind of a liqueur. I don't know. But all I know is it's fucking delicious. So let's just drink it. So that's kind of like, that's where that line kind of falls.
Well,
how about you?
For me, I think the fruit beers from Founders, but the beer quality to them is pretty much non-existent. It's just all of whatever fruit, whether it's cherries or raspberries or whatever. Then
Wait, were you talking about like the rubeus and shit like that? Like that's
yeah.
See, to me, that's like fruit beers in general. Like your herb spice beers are a little bit different. You're talking about delirium red. You're basically talking about when I see those beers, they're like a new school, and I agree they're not a beer, but they're like bastardized lambics. You're taking like fruit taste and you're making it candy instead of sours.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
yeah. I'd probably put pumpkin in the not exactly a beer category. I like it. I've been aging pumpkins for a couple of years now. I should actually start opening them up and just see what the fuck happened. Maybe they got better. Who knows? But I think those are so heavily spiced.
I gotta stop you 1 second. They still have pumpkin racks of pumpkin at Wegmans this morning in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I think that's so heavily spiced that the beer quality to it is in the same boat as the fruit beers. I think the beer quality is lost in there. Chocolate Manifesto. That will, I think,
to me that's a beer.
Great.
That's a beer to me.
Is it?
Totally,
okay.
Without a doubt. To me, that's the most imperial porter I've ever seen in my life. Like to me, that's not even like a triple chocolate imperial stout. To me, that's a super chocolate porter because the mouthfeel reminds me of a way a porter would be, but it's just super intense. Like again with the whole adjunct stuff. But the thing with that beer, I still drink it and go, wow, this is beer and it's really good. I'm not saying it's just different for me. I can see why you wouldn't think that way, but for me, it's a beer.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I don't know. Maybe like I think Bourbon County would be skirting the line along the same way as like the brewery barrel aged stuff, you know.
I agree.
That's
like
also
a lot.
Like, go ahead.
Yeah. Like a lot of barrel aged stuff kind of jumps the shark. So and Bourbon County is one of them. So
yeah. What else? Maybe Mad Elf. That could kind of get a little, but that's mostly like medicinal. It kind of gets a medicinal quality that I think the honey and cherries together. But it still actually has a beer quality to it. So nowhere near the extent of like pumpkin. Yeah.
Yeah. Barrel aged stuff in general fucking can get a little bit too out there, especially for me. A lot of wine barrel aged beers to where they take so much wine on to today. Like, okay, you know, you're just trying to be wine at this point. You're not beer anymore. Like, go fuck yourself.
Really.
Yeah, there was one I was thinking, and I was like, okay, I got to bring this up, and I'm spacing on it now. But yeah, there's.
Maybe like the Beast, like the Demon series from fucking. From Avery? Would you?
They're all beers to me. All of them.
They're all beers,
okay. except for the Beast. Okay. Mephistopheles, fucking what's Samael? Are there 4 or 3?
There's 3. There's the Beast, Samael, and the Mephistopheles.
Yeah, the Beast. Actually, you know what? The Beast might be beer. I just don't like it. I'm a big Beast guy. But Samael to me is traditional old ale goodness. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mephistopheles is great imperial stout, even though it's high ABV. And they're not barrel aged though. That's the thing about them.
No, they're not barrel aged. No, they're just. I was just going high, like super.
Well, Samael is oak aged, but it's like I don't think Mephistopheles is. But regardless, But then there's like what did I crack the other day? I cracked a Black Albert from the Struce. You're talking about non-barrel aged, just Russian Imperial Stout, and that shit is fucking bonkers. That blurred the line between bourbon and beer for me for a while, and that's just there's no barrel. That's just beer. That just tastes like that. So there's so many different it's such a blurred line between what's beer and what's not. It's a weird discussion to even have because who gives a fuck? If it's good, it's good.
Yeah,
if I
really.
drink it, I drink it, and I like it, I like it. That's all that fucking matters. But yeah, fucking beer.
Fucking beer.
Oh, okay. Are we done?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. This is exploding on me too. This is the new one. You can see it actually. I'm not gonna pour it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a new one. I figured I'd crack the new one and talk about it for a bit before we fucking sign off to see if I get anything different from it. I'll throw. Obviously, you don't have to stick around. I'll throw out a join thing out there if people want to join.
Yeah.
in.
With all my connection problems, I think I'm just going to head out after we sign off.
The funny part is that you've been fantastic for the past 15 minutes.
I know.
Anyway, let's see here. Do this. Let's see what we got going on with this motherfucker. Okay. So, Nis, not nearly as lively of carbonation on this fucker. The one,
Okay.
yeah, if you look.
Yeah, I can kind of tell that it's not
It's
going
not
on all the way.
explosive. It still has carbonation going on, but it's not as crazy. The head's not as big. Similar nose, way muted. Way more tart. The whole thing is like that. Like you got that tartness that you're like okay, and dropped off immediately, and you got this awesome vanilla and fucking orange in the back end. For me, the tart is still there, even now that I'm talking. Like it's not sour, but you're getting this this collective tartness that is fun. I mean, batch to batch, you're gonna have variants. So you can't take,
especially with the methods that they do with like.
And by the way, the methods or the ghetto-ness in which they brew their beers, yes.
Yeah.
But no, it's delicious in a different way. But I definitely, without a doubt, prefer the older one.
Yeah, side by side would have been neat. I kind of ran in, just grabbed the tone. Like it's probably only me drinking this tonight, so I want to get the little one. You know.
What did they say upstairs? Did anybody up there actually say anything about it or?
Amanda thought it was really good, and Chris thought it was very enjoyable. Liked it.
Jack of all spades kind of deal.
Yeah.
They get so nerdy on the new labels. They throw out a bunch of brewery shit on the side now.
Oh wow! I don't think I've picked up any of their really new labels.
Me neither. The owner was like, "I'm gonna send you a bunch of shit," and he didn't send it to me. And I called him out on it. And he's like, "I'll send you stuff now," and that was 5 months ago. So I'm like, "I'm not buying your shit. You promised me free stuff, son." No, I've had all their stuff, and at this point, I just keep waiting for new stuff. I bought in I bought like Good and Bruges. I bought like beers that I love from them and just drank them like not in fucking whatever Love Beer Radio or review or whatever all the time.
Just, just I want a beer. Let's grab this.
Yeah, the Good and Bruges, man. That thing's still fucking. That's the tits for me. Yeah. I guess they're actually moving because I'm looking at the label now and it says brewed and bottled by hand in Pittsburgh, PA and Allison Park, PA. So maybe they actually they found a new spot to brew in.
Maybe. Because the old label says Millvale.
Yeah, that's the original joint, you know. Although this, you're probably not going to be able to see it. Let's see if I can get this on camera, actually. This is how you know beer is good. Is
there a funk on the...
there's a total funk ring.
On the bottle?
See, you can totally see it. See it?
Oh, like, yeah, I can see it.
You can totally see where the beer's okay, that's where the beer that's where the beer stopped, everybody. Right there. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you know beer's good. When your beer puts a fucking stain on glass, that's how you know fucking beer is good, man. Seriously, I can't believe I got that on camera. I'm fucking impressed. Yeah, that's and this is their new labeling, which is only less than a year old. So, you know, that's funny. I was looking up at it and I was like, that's Wild East for you, man. I can't believe that thing has a fucking dirt ring on it already. Which it makes sense because it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, yeah, funk ring. Pittsburgh is a bunch of funky, dirty motherfuckers, and Draai is ghetto as fuck in a perfectly good way. No. Okay. So what else you got played for the rest of the weekend?
I'm ready to track down some Mad Fox beer. Give them a try before I go down there on Tuesday.
Mad Fox.
See what?
See what they
had. Some of their stuff. I don't remember.
Let's see. God damn it. Okay. Nah, dude, you're beat.
Orange Whip IPA, Broad Street IPA, Defender American.
You're not gonna find it anywhere around here.
No. I thought I've seen. Let's see.
The only, not that I take beer menus as gospel, but the closest availability is one place of all their beers.
Okay.
And it's 183 miles away, so.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're beat, dude.
Well.
How'd you get hooked up with those guys? Just like internet sleuthing or?
Pro brewer. I might have seen them at the Oktoberfest that I went down to. I don't know if I tried anything from them because that was like 2 years ago now. But that was in. So.
Okay. Well, let's sign off because I don't think anybody's going to join in, and I just kind of want to play video games. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed this show. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this show. If you did or you didn't, or somewhere in between, write to us, lovebeerradio@gmail.com. I'm Matt, Massive Beers, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. How about you, Joe?
Joe from NEPA Beer Reviews, nepabeerreviews.squarespace.com. Also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NEPA Beer Reviews.
So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully, we catch you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.